Hi, Phil Aston here from nowspinning.co.uk. This video is about finding that rare record. That record that you've been after for a long time. But I'm not going to feature a record that I just found now, because I wanted to focus on what it was like to seek out rare records before the internet, because it was a very different experience. And the record that I'm focusing on really is this one, which is by a band called Zephyr, and it's called Going Back to Colorado. And it's still got the sticker on it saying £30, and it's a promo as well. So this is you can see the ring wear on it, so it's been around a bit. And this record was important to me because I'm a huge fan of a guitarist called Tommy Bolin. And those of you who subscribe to my channel or know me from the music group will know that I've done loads of posts and a few videos on Tommy Bolin, especially the album Teaser and Deep Purple, Come Taste the Band. And I mention him quite a lot in posts about guitars and stuff. And I became a huge fan in the 70s. I never saw him live with Purple because at that time, ironically, I was such a big Blackmore fan that I just wouldn't even entertain the idea that Blackmore had been replaced. More for me, really. So I became a fan afterwards with Come Taste the Band and Teaser. And then I started to want to go backwards in time to find out what else he'd played on. And for his young life, because he passed away in 1976, he'd been on lots of different things. And the first band he played on where there was any kind of recorded output was a band called Zephyr. I'd found the first Zephyr album at a record fair, and I got that, and it's a good copy, but it was quite a difficult listen because those of you who know Zephyr know that the singer Candy has a specific kind of voice that's at the one end is like Janis Joplin, at the other end it's hard to explain or describe. And so it was quite a difficult lesson. Great guitar playing, great band. On this album, Going Back to Colorado, she's kind of mellowed a bit. But this was such a hard record to find in the 70s and the 80s, especially in the UK. And it was kind of late 80s by the time I tracked it down. And I'd been after it for so long. And the other thing I wanted to try and get across is that I'd never heard anything from it, and I couldn't hear anything from it because there was no way of that happening because no record shops had got it. I didn't know any friends who had got it. I think the head of the Deep Purple fan club had got it, and I remember writing to him in a letter, no email then, saying what's it like, and he just wrote back saying it's really good, and asked him if he'd take it for me, and he never responded. So I suppose that was a bit too cheeky. So for years I'd sought out this album and I wanted to buy it, and I'd never heard anything from it. I'd only seen the front cover and again in a magazine article, because I couldn't even see the back cover because again there's no Google, so you couldn't search for images, so I had no idea what it was like. And then I was down Corporation Street in Birmingham. There was a second-hand record shop towards the end. I think it took over where Virgin was. I can't remember what it was called now. So any of you watching this from Birmingham, let me know what it was. I can't remember what it was. It was around the late 80s. And I was in my dinner hour from work, and I was rummaging through it under Z. Because again, from other videos, you know that I like to go from A to Z and rummage through everything, because you never know, do you? And this is probably why. And there it was. I couldn't believe it. Zephyr, Going Back to Colorado, promo, £30. And I got it out, the cover. And there it was on Warner Brothers Records, promotion, not for sale. Made in 1971, USA, a promo copy. And it was £30. Now I was getting married soon, and £30 for an album in the late 80s was a lot of money. CDs had just started to emerge, and obviously they were expensive, but vinyl album, and an album that I'd never heard anything from it. This was a huge risk, and I ummed and ahed, and I actually left it there and came back, and I think I rang Sue up and said, I found this album, and I know we're saving up for the wedding and everything, but it's £30 and I've been after it for years. And she said, just buy it. And then you know that feeling where you think, you have that feeling where you think, oh, I don't really need that. You walk away from it, you think, well, you know. And then you suddenly make that decision in your mind that, no, I have to have this. And then your next thought in your brain is, I bet someone else has found it. I bet it's not going to be there. And so at the end of work, I literally ran across town as fast as I could to get to the shop, literally 5 minutes before it shut at 5:30, and went straight to the counter and picked up the record and bought it. And I got it home and I played it, and my first impression was it just washed over me, because I just thought, I've got I think as far as I was aware, the last thing I needed with Tommy Bolin, I've got it. So everything was like going in, and I was analysing it and everything, looking at the pictures and everything, and I did like it. And it had some, there was tracks, the only 2 tracks that I think eventually appeared elsewhere was Show Busy on the ultimate Tommy Bolin double CD box set that came out. And the other track is I See My People Come Together, which was also on that. But everything else was a complete and utter mystery. And I'm not going to review the album now, because it's, if you're a Tommy Bolin fan, you can just find it. You can just listen to this on YouTube now. And I've since bought it on first CD, which wasn't that hard, which came out, wasn't that hard to find, and then it's also been released as a deluxe edition 2 disc version, and again you can find that. But I always remember, you know, finding the original vinyl one, and I think those of us who are record collectors hopefully will recognise themselves in some of what I've said, that when you really seek out an album that you really want, and how different it is now. You just go online and eBay and watch something, whatever. But before the internet, it really was a land of mystery and imagination to think, how would you get hold of some of these things? Because I used to go to record fair after record fair, and there'd be a mental list of things, must look for this, must look for this, must look for this. But that album was always there on that list. So that's, let me know what it was like for you when you were trying to find certain records, and did you ever find them, and how did you feel afterwards? Let me know in the comments, subscribe, and please, become a patron and support me in now spinning from literally $3 or £3 a month, and you'll see lots of videos like this behind the scenes, and let me know what you'd like to see in the future. So thanks very much, and thanks to Chris and all our supporters, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Thank you.